You're listening to Support Creative Souls podcast, highlighting and supporting inspiring creatives, plus a few shoe stories to help kick up your innovative journey. Hosted by me, Stefani V.
Hola! Welcome to Support Creative Souls. We're back! I'm so excited. We're here again at our V co-work space in Midtown Houston, and I have an amazing guest like I always do. All my guests are amazing, but today is super special. I want to introduce to you Erin Creeks, aka Miss Independent. Yeah! So Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, so as you set me up, I'm the creator of Miss Independent. It's a women events and entertainment brand. I've been doing it for about 9 years.
Yes.
And then I've also been acquiring all kinds of other skills and doing stuff, on the side, like social media strategist, copywriter, content creator, and blending those two worlds and just trying to help find ways to tell better stories and support women in business while doing it.
So for those who have not attended a Miss Independent event, tell us a little bit about what these events entail, and also, or talk about how you just celebrated 9 years. I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment because some of us can't even get to 2. Some of us can't even get to 6 months. But 9 years as an entrepreneur, that's amazing, Erin. So tell us a little about what your events entail.
Sure. So I guess to give you a little bit of backstory to let you know how the progression of the events that we now have work. So as you said, 9 years, 2010, July 10th. I was sitting in my apartment on my couch, which also doubled as a bed and table and everything else.
We all been there.
Right? And I was fresh out of a breakup, and I'd gone to school in Florida. So when I came back home, I didn't have a network of people. Everyone I knew was scattered around. So I got in this relationship, still hadn't got out. And once the relationship was over, I felt stranded. I don't have friends. I don't have anywhere to go, nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I found meetup.com, which is how we got started actually as a meetup group for about the first 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And initially it was just me inviting people to come to other events or go to a restaurant or something. Sure. And then I started to see that there was more of a need for a little bit more time and attention and detail going into the event, because I'm a natural introvert and I wanted to support other introverts and feeling comfortable to come out. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started to actually host my own events, and it was simple brunches, lunches, come and do crafty stuff. So fast forward to where we are now, I have a signature event called #Girls Night Out. It's the biggest event I do every year. It was actually a brand launch when we transitioned from meetup to business, and it was a one-time thing. I had 115 people, women show up that I didn't know that actually were not associated with Miss Independent. Yeah. And I was so surprised by that, and the premise was just creating Instagrammable moments so that people would share and it would get our name out there faster. And from there it grew, and our last event, which was hosted last month actually, was an interactive immersive art experience.
Yes, and I'm so sad because I missed that event. Of course, I wasn't here.
Aww.
But I heard it was amazing and you had a great turnout, and
yes, it was a labor of love.
You guys think they just show up and it's just she just put it together, but I know this woman has been working very, very hard just to put one event together. So it seems like it doesn't take a long time, whatever, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Right?
It was a year. It was a year of study and traveling to other of these immersive art experiences. We had a few in Houston, but I wanted to see who's doing it really well.
Yeah.
And literally walking in there and touching the walls and looking to see what did they use and how they put things together, and talking to the staff. And then the actual implementation, we only had 2 weeks. We had a space for a month, 7,000 square foot space. I had 2 weeks to get everything together. Of course, things don't go to plan. So you're let's change and do this. It'll be simple and easy. And that's the one that took me 2 weeks. I was leaving the venue from 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning every day for 2 weeks, getting everything set up. But I mean, it always looks like, it was simple and easy, and that's what I want, because I want people to feel like, this was fun and exciting, but it might have shaved off a few years off my life, but it was fun. We had an actual chef there cooking, making tortillas, and then we had, of course, the cocktails, and the people came into 11 different art installations. They're all designed to be Insta famous.
I'm so sad I missed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully.
Well, I know she's gonna have more, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, when I have staff of people to help, there's some things I will not do again, but the intention behind every event, whether it's a pop-up or a culinary crawl or a big massive event like this, is I want people to have a different kind of experience where they walk out saying, you know, of all the things I'll do this month, that's the most memorable. Or I learned something about myself. Maybe even I can talk to people and it's totally okay.
Yeah.
I always want people to leave having something.
Well, I know when I attended the one last year, I did meet some people that just came up to me like, oh, how'd you hear about the event?
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, have you tried this? Or, oh, you know, you're just kind of all looking at some of the vendors, and it is a great, you don't think about it, but it is a great way to meet different people who are actually too looking for other people to mingle with, or friends, or, you know, it's hard. And I know I've been in the same boat. Most of my friends are in LA or New York or Atlanta, and I'm just kind of like, here, of course I have my family, but we all know we can only hang with our family occasionally before they get on your nerves. And so I feel like that really is what makes your events different, is because a lot of people promote like, oh, we're having this event and you guys come, but I'm always afraid to jump in the car and just be like, oh, you know, I don't know anybody here. Yeah, exactly. And so it's hard to take that first step, you know? First of all, it's hard to get dressed up. Then to know, like, if you're not going to be heading to a party that's like going to be good or not. At least I know with whatever event Erin is putting on, it's going to be a really good time, and it's worth your outfit, because we all know we hate wasting an outfit for something that's just not.
That's it.
Instagrammable.
That's it. No, it's true though, but that goes back to why I always have an intention with every event, because I've been there where you waste the outfit, the gas, parking, especially in some parts of Houston, and you get there to be there in less time than it took you to drive to the location. And I always want to just be mindful of, it took so much, especially for some women that aren't getting out, it took so much for you to get in the car. It took so much for you to put it all together, regardless of what you're going through. Like, I want to honor that and make sure you have a good experience.
So is that how you feel like Miss Independent is kind of transitioning lives, like in Houston, and maybe other people that are visiting Houston or have just moved? I mean, how do you feel like you're touching people?
I definitely feel like I'm touching people, going back to really just the experience component. I don't know who's coming in. I don't know what they're coming in with. I don't know, you know, what you're going through. And I always try to approach it like, if you've had a terrible week or you're going through something, can there be something in this that is going to support you and give you a little bit more hope? If not, make a connection or answer a question that you've been asking. And I just feel like when you put that energy out there, I'm not responsible for how it comes to you, but I can still be responsible for setting the stage to get you where you want to go. I just believe everybody connects in some way to support each other and serve each other. And so that was always the intention from the beginning. Initially it was for single women, because that's the season I was still in. But
that's okay.
Right? It's okay. It's okay, right? But the focus now is for all women, because I started to see this influx of like single moms who just kind of feel like there's the weight of the world on me, but I don't have a lot of support and I don't have time for myself.
And I don't know where to go anymore. I don't know I don't know what the cool place is. I don't want to be at the club, but I want to go to a nice event where I can meet other people and look great and get out with a great swag.
And get out of my own head, and it's just like, if this is that one event, I want that to be worth it. So I started to look at different things, like what's a way to support someone who's a single mom, or maybe just single, or married and happy but just needs to get away, you know. So my intention with all the events is just to really nurture and care for women, and that's why some of them are smaller and then some of them are a little bit bigger, you know, depending on what you want. But realizing it or not, a lot of women that are in Houston are not native to Houston. A lot of them are moving from some other place, and to be uprooted and plopped down here, it's very jarring, regardless of, you know.
And Houston's a big city, so
it's huge. You can drive an hour and still be in Houston. So and that's the other thing, is just kind of acting as a guide to show women around the city and things that they can do. And it's so great. I've had some times where we've gone and done something at somewhere, and I'll keep seeing in my feed on Facebook, like, they back again. They back again. You know?
Check.
Right? I'm like, for you.
That is success. That is like, it's, you know, small steps to success are just like the greatest things ever.
Yeah.
And not to say that that's small, but just saying like, okay, we're in the right. I'm going in the right direction. I've captured what I want to capture, basically.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Erin Creeks. Obviously, you're known as Miss Independent, but there's you as an entrepreneur. Where did that come from? Are your parents entrepreneurs, or did you just start out? Where did it come from, basically?
I would love to know where it came from. No, both of my parents actually recently retired. They both each worked 30 years in one job. Very much believe I should do the same. Don't understand what I do or see the validity of it most times. And it's always like, you have your ups and downs, and you're not always going to be like financially just doing the best.
Sure.
And so the second best hits, it's like, oh, when you get a real job. So it's been a little bit of a struggle in that regard. But entrepreneurship prior to this, funny enough, for 9 years prior to this, I was a Pilates instructor and personal trainer.
Yeah, and I never knew that about Erin until like one time she posted something on her Instagram and it was like a post like, wait, what? I have no idea. That's like crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought that was the thing I was going to do, but even that was entrepreneurial because I had to go find the clients, create I had at one time Pilates machines and set up in my home.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought that's what I was going to do. I just feel like that's how my mind works. I've actually never worked for anyone else for longer than a year. And it's various reasons, either I leave or the company gets sold, but in some way I feel like either I had to move or I got moved, but I was never meant to stay. And so entrepreneurship just felt like, all right, we're doing this. And so it just transitioned from my focus being on educating and encouraging and supporting women to understand their bodies and how awesome and powerful they are, to understanding how awesome and powerful you are just in general. So I'm doing it in a different way, but in terms of entrepreneurship, I just don't feel like I'm wired to work for. Someone else told me you're totally unemployable in the best way possible.
It's like I had a job working for a clothing store one day, and I absolutely was terrible at it. I was horrible at the cash register, and I finally walked in one day and the lady was like, we're gonna have to let you go. And I was like, what? I had never been fired from a job. And she said, yes, your schedule does not work with our schedule. And I said, oh, okay, then I get it. And as an entrepreneur, like, you just get it, It's like, yeah, you're right. This was not working, and I know it, and I know where I need to be. And that's not what the full-time job, selling some clothes. It just was not my forte.
When you feel it and you know it, you're just like, there's just something about this structure that just does not speak to me.
Yeah, and we hear a lot about that, especially people of color. I know Mexicanos is like, our parents are always like, well, are you going to get a real job? Are you going to get a job? When are you going to get your job? Go to school, go to school, go to school. And then you're like this creative, you're this artist, you're this, and they don't understand. And, that's part of like my job is to kind of show them like all of these different type of career paths so that they can understand that it's okay and you can be successful at what you do. But it's hard because they first want you to take that straight path. And, it's not always the straight path that gets you to where you want to be, obviously. And especially here with Erin, it's like you've been doing this. A
lot of it.
But
that started because in school, I did well in school, A's and all that. I was always in extracurriculars. And so the idea was do well in school so that you can get a good job. And after I graduated and I got my diploma, I'm like, all right, good job. No one will hire me because I need experience. I'm like, well, what was the degree for? And that was my first time being disillusioned that the system I've been fed doesn't work.
Yeah. And that's basically what Follow My Feet is trying to change, is that we need to start preparing the youth in 7th and 8th grade before we're getting even to high school to actually know what they're passionate about, and so you can follow a career, and that's how you can make money by the time you graduate. I'm not saying don't go to school, but by the time you graduate, you already know what you want to do. And it's not like now you got to go out and find it out. Well, I majored in communication.
Yeah, what is that?
And now I got a degree.
There's no jobs.
Okay. Well, whatever. But so I would say some of the challenges for you have been.
Gosh, there's been a lot. If I had to whittle it all down though and say that the root, it's been confidence, honestly. because I think that I've had a lot more of a skill set than I've been aware of. It's just that I had to go learn it by doing, and I didn't sit in class and learn it. And especially making that transition and realizing I think you're going to be an entrepreneur. Like, you just don't do well with other people. You know, we're being trained all our lives to be an employee. And the mindset of an employee is not the mindset of a CEO. And so having to break that down and understand, you're not meant to work 10, 12, 30, you know, whatever crazy hours. That's the idea of if I'm at a 9 to 5 and I put in extra time as a good little employee. But for me, I've hit so many burnouts with the idea that I have to work really hard, and working hard means success, and then it didn't. The confidence to know that I can get out there. Initially, when I started Miss Independent, I thought I could be in the background on the computer and creating all these images, and then they'll just show up. And then I realized, no, they really want to see you. And then I was like, well, that wasn't the bargain. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to be out there.
And the more I had to put myself out there, the more it worked, but the more I had to accept and realize, why do they even want you there? There's something they're seeing that you don't see in yourself. And then you have to start digging and pulling back layers. And, you know, if you don't have that confidence, it's hard to go out there and market or believe in what you're saying or go bigger. And with every step, it just gets, you know, once you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm confident now. Like, oh, there's another level. Now you gotta do this.
I mean, that's with every single thing that we do as entrepreneurs. Is finding that confidence. I mean, even with this, like, I didn't know how to set anything up, or I didn't know how to start it. But it's just once you take that first step, you know, you slowly start building in. You're like, is this the right thing to do? And then someone says, I love what you do, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, little by little, you're right. Little by little, you start that confidence build. It doesn't just come to you. Oh, some people it does, but that's not necessarily the right way, you know? So,
and I think getting away from that right way thing too. When I first started, of course, I'm like everybody, being an entrepreneur, reading every article, every podcast, everything, and it's like you have to get up at 5 a.m. and it should be hard and it should be these things. And it's like, but
no one's getting up at 5 a.m.
No, I'm like, I don't go to bed until 2.
Exactly.
I'm a night owl and I do things this way, and it was just getting away from that. That my favorite quote is like, don't should yourself. Like, it's just all that should. And I finally got to a point where like, this works for me. And it doesn't seem to work for other people, and I don't really care if this is what works for me. And I have to be a little bit more confident, because quickly and along the way, I've had to just get jobs just to pay the bills. But what I was always learning when I would get that job is that my boss would see all these great qualities in me that I wasn't seeing, and of course exploiting it for the business. And then you see when they, go and send the invoice, like, that's what I'm worth? Crazy.
Know your worth, guys. Yes, that's so true. And I know that a lot of my friends have said that as well. But like, wait a minute, I could be charging that?
Right.
And I'm over here and never, what? But, so tell us what is next for Erin Creeks. I know you just finished doing your ebook. So tell us a little about that, where we're going to be able to find it, and the launch, I guess, if you even have that. I'm like pushing your information.
No,
I'm not that far yet.
Literally 48 hours. ErinCreeks.com has existed.
So by the time this airs, it'll have already existed.
It's there. But it was really like a surreal moment to just be like, I'm gonna really put my name on a domain. Like, that's a thing. I think with Miss Independent, I have really evolved my identity so much in the work of doing Miss Independent, and it's not that it's something I want to stop doing. I just started to realize you guys start to separate yourself a little bit, because Miss Independent is, to me, something that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's how I got started, but it's not all that I am. And I started to not make the distinction and just feel like that's it. So moving over into, okay, well then who is Erin? What do I do? What do I stand for? A lot of times, as I mentioned, I've had to get, side jobs, and that's where all of the social media strategy that I've learned and implemented for my own platform, other people want those skills. Other people want that information. And I think it goes back to me being a Pilates instructor. I am a teacher, whether I realize it or not, and early on.
And you're good at it.
Because I take so much time, all those years of being the quiet girl, watching people. I've learned, because
you ain't quiet anymore.
No, they're like, you're so quiet. I'm like, I'm figuring you out. But all that time and figuring out how people think and how they work and the little subconscious things that we're not even aware of, all that helps with marketing. And all that helps me to tap in and understand my audience, but it also helps me to then take that information and then create social strategies or other marketing strategies, for other people. And so
it's like the light bulb, ding, ding, ding. It's I always say, it's like purpose. Like, once you find your purpose, it's just like everything just flows.
It does, and it comes to you really quickly. And so for me, it was just seeing all of the products out there, particularly Instagram. Everybody loves Instagram. It's one of the fastest growing platforms, but that means it's also the most competitive. Yeah. And they miss that. And so everyone's like, how do I make prettier pictures and how do I get more followers? And I'm like, do you even need more followers? Why do you care about followers? I thought you wanted sales. Yeah, and so it was a lot of things that I just thought people just don't get it because they just blindly follow a strategy without understanding the thought process behind it because there isn't one. So I put that together in an ebook. It's called the Side Hustler's Guide to Instagram. And it is available at erincreeks.com.
I can't wait. I need it.
And I wanted to implement a strategy that I know will be effective, but more than that is I wanted to get people thinking, if you need to tweak the strategy, just know why and just understand and feel confident. I even put 2 videos in there, one of them just talking about why we need to be doing more videos because that's the way of the future. But a lot of people know that. They just won't do it because they're not comfortable. Yeah. And so I was like, all this strategy means nothing. All this strategy means nothing if you don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. So I was like, I'm gonna make a video just for that. So it's a lot of, I feel like right brain, left brain information, but I want to make people not only feel like they have better information, but now they have a better understanding and they feel more confident to take action. And that's what I put in the ebook. And hopefully by now I have more products, but my approach to social media strategy, content curation, marketing in general is you have to give people the confidence that their story has value and that there are other people that can get value from it. And so they'll tell that story. But as long as you keep shoving strategy down their throat and making them think there's one way to do it, and if you haven't discovered the one way, you're not going to be successful. Right. And it's disempowering, and I don't want that for people.
Yeah, I think, and I feel like Instagram has hit that point where that's kind of where people are right now. Yes. Like, do I get 20,000 followers, or like the girl that had 1 million followers and she couldn't sell one T-shirt?
Yeah.
So
2.6 million.
Yeah. So this is going to be a great book for you guys, and I'm really excited that you shared it. Can we say how much it's going to be, or is it?
It's because it's my first one. It's only $25.
Only $25.
It won't happen again, but this it's because it's new, and I do want to kind of get my name out there. Yeah. But I'm going to have other things that come along. But for right now, it's just a really simple, easy course to get you in. But I'm going to have a lot of other opportunities, workshops, and things that I'm going to integrate with the Miss Independent audience. We did a poll. Over 80% of the audience is either side hustlers, business owners, or they are trying to have a personal brand. So this helps anyone. If you're thinking about going out on your own, or you have a full-time job but you want supplemental income, or you are an entrepreneur. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm excited. I need it for myself because I'm all over the place, and so it would be great to key in.
Yeah.
And do some more strategy. So let's move on to talk about our shoes. I tell everybody, do you have a shoe story or a favorite go-to shoe? And you told me that the ones you're wearing are...
The ones I'm wearing, these are...
Can you pick your foot up just a little? Yeah. I always show mine. I'm wearing these little cute wedges here. Kenneth Cole, whatever. They're not that fabulous. But these are
Gap.
Cute.
And my aunt works at Gap. So she frequently, whenever we come over for our Sunday dinners on, it's I think once every other month, she just bought me these shoes. And at first I was like, I'm gonna wear this. That's not my style. And then I threw them on, rushing out the house one day. I'm like, oh my God. I love them. They go with my outfits. How heels affect your alignment. I'm starting to have more joint issues and pain and weird things than I ever used to. So I'm like, I need some support. I'm flat-footed. But I want to look good, and this is what I got. I don't like to show my toes. I don't get pedicures, so
these are what you call the fancy loafers, because you can dress them up or dress them down. You can wear skirts, you can wear shorts, you can wear anything, and it just is a great shoe to incorporate whatever style you're going with. Especially it's a great office shoe, but then you can wear that out night with your pants, a little skirt or whatever you want to do. So I love them, and I love that they're suede, and I love that color.
Yeah, they're my in-between. I guess if you had to say a story, from all the years that I was a Pilates instructor, I wore flip-flops like every day. I didn't wear shoes. I didn't actually start wearing high heels until I had an office job at like 28 or so. And then I discovered I truly do not like heels at all. I don't know how people wear these. So I didn't have a lot of confidence, especially when I was first getting out networking, because I had heels on. And my ankle would do this weird like shake thing. I think the muscles were just being like, stretched and not comfortable. And so that affected, you know, my confidence in me walking, and I put too much thought into like the shoe and then the flat of the shoe, and oh wait, you gotta get the purse so you can put the flats in there and all of that. Yeah. And so now I'm at the point where I'm like, I need to focus on what I'm doing. These are my shoes.
Yeah, and now the style is like I wear sneakers as my flip-flops are sneakers are my new flip-flops. So I feel like a flat just is a go-to now, and I know in the shoe industry it's like they've created 500 million different ways to make a flat look like a heel, basically as cute as a heel, I want to say, but it's just more comfort. It's more everyone's doing more comfort over you know, wanting to be sexy or wanting to be these big ass, you know, excuse my language. Anyway, I like your shoes.
Thank you. I like them too.
So I'm going to ask you, it's a reoccurring question. What would you tell a creative who is currently where you were 5 years ago?
Man.
I feel like we get the same because everybody's like, oh God, 5 years ago to come back where I was 5 years ago.
Ironically, I feel like I am where I was 5 years ago because things are cyclical, and even though you're always being elevated, there's always that new level where you have to then re-examine, re-question, and some things do resurface. So for me, what I would tell the creative 5 years ago / current moment is there is no right or wrong. Everything is just the meaning that you assign to it. And that can change constantly with everything. So do what is feeling good to you in the moment. It is not right or wrong. It is your path. You will not be successful at everything. You know, success and failure are parallel. You're going to have to experience both, but there's no right or wrong. Just try, just start, and you know that regardless of how it feels in the moment and that it's just never ending, it will get better, but you have to keep trying. You have to keep experimenting, and in that it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, and no one can tell you that it is, not even you. Things do change, but you know, listen to yourself and don't be so hard on yourself.
So where can we find you at, Erin, on social media? Your plug.
So you can.
I know where you can find me. Where can everyone else find you?
So Miss Independent, it's okay. So the spelling, Miss Independent is MSIND spelling independent. GP, and I say that stands for Girl Power. It actually stood for group at the time, but now I can't change it. So Miss Independent GP on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then Erin Creeks, just Erin Creeks, ERINCREEKS. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then website is missindependent.net, and Erin is erincreeks.com.
And that's where we can purchase the ebook as well, right?
Yes, that's where you can purchase the ebook. I also have other services, consultations for events, as well as social media marketing.
Awesome. Erin, thank you so much for joining us on Support Creative Souls. You are an amazing person, amazing entrepreneur, and you just blessed us with so much information today. And I hope viewers, you go out and buy this ebook because it can take your platforms to another level. And if you need consulting from Erin, she's available as well.
Always can help.
So, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Comida Caliente Salsa. If you haven't bought your bottle, you're missing out on some tasty, tasty salsa. And also Fragrances of Wine. Get to their website and pick out a perfume that's great for you. And We Co-Workspace, thank you again for sponsoring our location. And that's it. You can find us at YouTube, our new YouTube page. So we need subscribers. Go subscribe. And on Instagram, Support Creative Souls, and Facebook, Support Creative Souls. And I am Stefani Vada. Thank you again for joining us. Support Creative Souls. Erin, that's all.
Bye.
That's all for Support Creative Souls podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for next time and make sure and follow us on social media at Support Creative Souls.